What's going on, guys? Welcome to my June 2013 Blu-ray DVD and video game update. A little late on this, it's the 10th. Just having a bit of trouble getting the motivation to make this video. If you haven't noticed, I'm wearing a Colts hat, which is my favorite football team because I live in Indiana. Found this at Goodwill for $1. This is a $20, $30 hat, and I just thought I'd point that out because it is a really nice hat. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Got a big stack of things to go over. So first thing is God of War Ascension. Got this for my birthday. I'm a huge God of War fan. God of War is my favorite game series, if I haven't said that and you didn't know it. But God of War Ascension it's mediocre at best, and you know, the story is still pretty good, but the overall tone and villains, the Furies, as they call them now, the three women with special gnarly powers, they seem like second-class villains compared to the gods of Olympus and Ares and all those people. So if you haven't played God of War, you won't know what I'm talking about. But basically, it's about a fella, Kratos, who was a Spartan captain or general or something. He was in the Spartan army, and he was way too ambitious, and he took on way too much in terms of battle, and he was about to die from a barbarian with a giant hammer. They were going to kill him. And he reached up to the sky and prayed to Ares, said, "Save me and I'll be your servant or slave or whatever." And Ares, answered his call, so Kratos started to serve Ares. And through a twist of fate, Ares had Kratos attack a village, and it turns out that Kratos' family was there, and Kratos murdered his family unknowingly. So it goes on from there, and from that point, after Ares forces Kratos to kill his own family, he's out for revenge to kill Ares, and that's God of War 1. Well, this one takes place before God of War, or kind of in between God of War 1. And it's like a prequel and God of War 1 and the same thing, because in this game he already is a slave to Ares, but it's not quite gotten to the point where he wants to kill him. So it's kind of muddled, and there's tons of flashbacks. At one point you're in a flashback for like 2 hours, and you finally get out of it and you're like, oh yeah, I totally forgot that was a flashback. It's just kind of messed up, and it's really sloppy. And overall, the visuals are really good, but it seems like that they were rushed because there's a lot more technical hiccups than there ever was before. Let's say God of War 3, it was a flawless game, no technical hiccups. And this game has tons of them. The sound will go out constantly. Frame rates will drop. It's mediocre at best. And I really do love God of War. Now, that's not to say that it's bad, because it still is a decent game gameplay-wise. But overall, if I had to give it a rating, I would give it a 5, 6, 7 out of 10, something around there. So, and overall, I think the story and single player suffered because they tried to add multiplayer, and God of War doesn't need multiplayer. It never needed it. Why did they put it in there? You know what I mean? I played it once, and there's no skill-based matchmaking. They just put you with whoever's playing the game. And me being a level 1, having no special equipment or anything, I'm basically just a naked guy with a sword, and going up against people level 50 with magic and special items and giant-ass weapons and shit, it's unfair to play level 1 against the highest level in the game. It's just not, it's kind of messed up, and But overall, I like the game. I like the story mode. Multiplayer was a decent attempt, but they need to add skill-based matchmaking so that I can actually have a chance to win, So that's my take on God of War Ascension. It was a decent game story-wise, but multiplayer leaves a lot to be desired, and overall it's just, So the next thing I got was a gift from Andrew, Wheeling Around Town guy. He got it for my birthday. Bought it used for $25, which is Dragon Ball GT, the complete series on DVD. Now the packaging is a little weird, because this is just a slipcover, and then it has the basic 2 sets inside of the slipcover, so Season 1 and 2. I was a huge fan of Dragon Ball Z growing up. It was like my one show that I watched constantly. And I do want to get the seasons of Dragon Ball Z. I have a couple of the movies and one of the seasons, season 4, I think, on DVD. And I want to get them all because it's still a great show and I really like it. But I never watched Dragon Ball GT simply because I can't follow a television schedule. Like, I want to watch TV shows like Breaking Bad, Walking Dead, Game of Thrones. I have HBO. I could watch it. I just never remember to watch it. It's a horrible, horrible thing to do. But I never remembered to watch Dragon Ball GT. And now I absolutely have the opportunity to, and I'm about 10 episodes in. Yeah, I really like it. I don't know all the bad hype around it. I looked into it, and a lot of people despise Dragon Ball GT. But overall, I thought it was pretty good so far. So, looking forward to it. And the good thing about it is, when it was originally aired in the U.S. on Toonami, I think it was, they added this awful, awful intro with like rap and heavy metal mixed in together, and it was just awful. And thankfully, on the complete series DVDs, they added the original Japanese intros and outros with the original Japanese music and things like that. And honestly, it's so much better than the U.S. Intros. If you want to know what I'm talking about, type in Dragon Ball GT in US intro to YouTube and you'll see it, and you'll see how stupid it is. And then go to Dragon Ball GT Japanese intro and you'll see how much better it is. So it's really a good show and I really like it. So thanks, Andrew, if you're watching, because I really do enjoy it. The next couple are all Blu-rays. That was the only game and the only DVD I got. Next up on the list is Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street. Got this for my brother simply because he had bought the Nightmare on Elm Street collection, so he didn't need the single disc version of the first one anymore. And, you know, I'm not big on horror. I'm just not. It's not my forte, and I enjoy it every so often. Like, I really liked the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't own it, but I plan to eventually. I really like that one, and, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street is better than most. It's, you know, it's one of the pillars of horror, modern horror. You know, you got Friday the 13th, you got Halloween, you got Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you got I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But you know the pillars that I'm talking about, the franchises that made modern horror, you know, big. So Friday the 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know, those are the ones that everyone takes from now when it comes to slasher horror movies. So, and it's been a really long time since I've watched this. I watched the second one not too long ago because it was in his collection. And I really like the second and third one. But like I said, I still haven't watched this one, so I can't really comment on it. But the original, so I'm looking forward to watching it. It's supposed to be the best one. But, you know, the third one was actually really good. It was kind of campy and fun. I'm not sure if that campiness the campiness transferred over from this one to the sequels, but I really enjoyed the campiness of the sequels. And that moves in along to Friday the 13th. He plans on buying the Friday the 13th 12 movie set, so I traded him a DVD for this one. And honestly, like I said, I'm not into horror, and I didn't see the twist coming, but I'm sure everyone knows that Jason isn't in this one. It's his mom that's the killer. And it's just bleh. You know, I'm just not into horror, so you know, I don't know. I guess it's just not my forte, and I don't know. It seems like a lot of people on YouTube are really big horror fans, and I just don't fit into that niche, you know. So next up is one that I bought at the Best Buy Trade and Save for $5. Jake Gyllenhaal in Source Code. Now, like I said in that video that I made where I bought this, I was a huge skeptical fan of Jake Gyllenhaal. I didn't really care for him because I hadn't seen anything he was in that I liked. The only thing I remember him being in before I saw this was Jarhead, and I still haven't seen that one, even though I'm a big fan of war movies. But this movie is very, very good. And, you know, Jake Gyllenhaal plays a army captain, or a military person of some sort, and he wakes up in this, like, pod, and he's talking to officials from a base, and they're telling him that he is in the source code. And I just banged my desk so the camera probably shook. But they're telling him he's in the machine, the source code, which can take you back into a situation that recently happened for eight minutes, I believe. So a terrorist attack had just happened, and they send him back to where the terrorist attack happened, and you have 8 minutes to solve the crime. So he starts out really timid and not knowing what to do, and then he gets completely really bold, and it's just a kind of a really good psychological type thriller movie. I don't know any other way to describe it, but it's actually really good. And if you're as skeptical as I was of Jake Gyllenhaal, watch this movie because it's definitely really good. Next up is one I got for my birthday, and it's one I've always really liked. A long movie, but I wish it had a slipcover. Sapphire series of Gladiator. Russell Crowe. Probably Russell Crowe's best movie. You know, he has a couple really good movies, but this is his best, and he's been riding the coattails off of this for a long time. 2 discs. This is the Sapphire series, so if anyone has the slipcover to this, I'll happily maybe buy it off you if the price is right, but you know, I really would like to have all the slipcovers to the Sapphire series. I have Saving Private Ryan, the slipcover for that, and I need American Beauty, Braveheart, and Gladiator. I don't know why I'm burping so much. But, you know, it seems like Russell Crowe's been living off the coattails of Gladiator with movies like Robin Hood, which was just god-awful, and things like that. So, overall, the movie's great. Russell Crowe, I'm sure everyone's seen this, but I'm going to explain it for those who haven't. Russell Crowe plays a Roman general, I believe it's Rome, who is, you know, he's been on a conquest of new territory, gaining new territory for the empire. And the emperor is old man and he's close to death. And he's going to make Maximus, which is Russell Crowe's character, the new emperor. He's not going to pass it on to his son. Well, the son has a problem with that because he's a power-hungry piece of shit. And he murders the emperor, which is his father, and thus becomes emperor. And I'm not gonna spoil any more of that here, but Maximus becomes a gladiator because the new emperor, his son, tries to kill him, and he gets away. And you know, it's actually a really, really good movie, and it won Best Picture in 2000. It won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture in 2000. It really is a good movie, and the Blu-ray looks fantastic. Overall, I really, really liked it, and I've seen it once or twice before, but I didn't really remember anything about it. So, I really liked it, and it looks good on Blu-ray. So, if you're interested in it, Best Buy has steelbooks of this for $10. They have Braveheart and Gladiator steelbooks for $10 on Blu-ray. I'm not sure if it's 2 discs like the Sapphire series, but if you just want the movie in a cool packaging, steelbook's the way to go. Next up is my favorite actor of all time, Tom Hanks, in Big. Basically a romantic comedy with Robert Loggia as, I believe it's Robert Loggia, as the boss of a toy company. That's completely irrelevant, but Big, Tom Hanks plays he starts out as a little boy, probably about a 12-year-old kid, and he's actually really short. He's pretty little for his age. And he goes to the carnival and wishes that he was big. And he gets his wish. He wakes up as a 30-year-old adult. And so he kind of runs away from home because his mom wouldn't believe that he turned into a 30-year-old overnight. So he kind of falls ass backward into getting a job at a toy company. And being that he's a 12-year-old, he knows exactly what kids want. So he kind of moves quickly up in the company, and he falls in love with an employee there. And it's actually a really, really good movie, and I really love Tom Hanks. If you didn't know that, he's my favorite actor. But it's just a cute, I never thought I'd say this, but it's a good movie, and it's kind of one you can watch with a girl and still have a good time because it is a good movie. Overall, I really, really enjoyed it. It's pretty funny at times, it's touching at others, and overall it's just a plain good movie. So next up is one complete polar opposite of all of these. It's Ben Affleck in The Town. It's that disc art. That disc art's really cool if you haven't seen that. I don't, man, that's really cool discard. But about a town, I think it's called Jamestown in Massachusetts, and it just so happens that this town has produced more bank robbers than anywhere in the United States. And this group of guys, Ben Affleck, Jeremy Renner, they are bank robbers. So it starts out and they rob a bank, and they end up having to take a hostage that I believe she saw their face or some identifying mark on their body. So they took her hostage just in case the cops were chasing them, and they let her go for by the beach, I believe. Anyway, so they were afraid that she was going to squeal to the police because she had saw some identifying marks on their bodies, like tattoos and stuff. So they start spying on her, and like just incognito, or Ben Affleck kind of bumps into her on purpose and talks to her and stuff like that. And he actually kind of falls in love with her, and he really cares about her. And you know, I'm going to stop there because it does get into some deep stuff, and it's a very good movie. The final heist scene is actually really intense. If you have a sound system, you'll know what I mean. But like the gunfire, and it's just everywhere, and it's really good. Overall, I think this won an award of some sort. I'm not sure, but Ben Affleck directed and wrote, and he's a good director and writer. I haven't seen Argo yet, but this makes me excited for it because he's brilliant. He really can write a good movie and direct a good movie and star in a good movie. So, you know, for the longest time I thought Ben Affleck was pretty bad because I saw him in Daredevil, and I just was like, ugh, that was awful. This movie has totally changed my mind about him. It's just a really, really good movie. If you've never seen it, if you like bank robbery, heist movies, kind of a love story in between those, definitely check out The Town. Next up is one that I got for a really good deal, and I plan on making a overview of it, which is Unforgiven, the Digibook. Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, a star-studded cast, and I don't really like westerns. I don't know why, I just never clicked with westerns or not. But this movie is really, really good, and it won Best Picture in '92. Yeah, 92. So it's 21 years old now. Blu-ray picture quality looks damn good. It looks really good. And if you want to see a bit of the picture art and stuff, stay tuned for a unboxing of this. Or not unboxing, but overview, as I call them, because if it's already unboxed, it's not an unboxing, you know what I mean? But Gene Hackman plays Little Bill in a town, Big Whiskey or Little Whiskey or something like that. And it starts out, and these two guys are in a whorehouse, and it feels funny calling women whores. It's kind of, please forgive me if you take offense to that, but that's just what it is in the movie. But the prostitutes kind of get into a spat with two of the patrons, and I guess you could call them patrons. And one of the guys carves up one of the prostitutes' face, like with a knife. He cuts her up. So Little Bill, being the sheriff, that's Gene Hackman, makes them pay damages to the owner of the brothel. So, of course, this doesn't sit well with the prostitutes because they look out for each other, apparently. And they put a bounty on these two guys' head for like $1,500, which back in like 1800 and whatever, that's a lot of money. So it brings quite a few bounty hunters to the town, and Little Bill kills a couple of them in kind of like a grand fashion, and like posts them up on a building or something, so other bounty hunters can see that they don't want them there. Gene Hackman is approached by I don't even know who the actor's name is, but another bounty hunter, and Clint Eastwood has like a history of being this ruthless murderer, bank robber, things like that. He's a bounty hunter, but he's kind of given it all up, and they want him to get back into the life so they can collect this bounty. So Clint Eastwood enlists his friend Morgan Freeman, and they kind of go after the bounty, and I'm going to stop there because it really is a good movie. And don't know why I coughed there, but if you've never seen it, definitely check this one out. Even if you're not into westerns like I am, I still really enjoyed it. Clint Eastwood and Morgan Freeman and Gene Hackman all give a stunning performance. And there's one English guy in here. I guess it's Richard Harris. I don't know who his name was. He was pretty entertaining to watch too. So overall, the Blu-ray looks really good, and the movie's fantastic. So for $10 for the Digibook, that's a good deal. If you've never seen it, like I said, definitely give it a go. And the last one I bought comes as a 9-movie set. If you haven't seen the unboxing of it, I did a full unboxing. Not my best, because I tried a different setup with the tripod overlooking my desk. So I might redo it at some point. But it's the Mel Brooks collection with 9 movies. Comes with 12 chairs, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, Silent Movie, High Anxiety, History of the World Part 1, To Be or Not to Be, Spaceballs, and Robin Hood Men in Tights. Got this for $23. So you can see it's just a big Blu-ray case with all 9 movies in it. And for $23, you know, that's not a bad deal, because if you would have bought all these separately, which I don't even think you can buy most of these separately, the only ones I've ever seen for sale are Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, and Spaceballs. Robin Hood Men in Tights is too. So 9 movies for $23 on Blu-ray is a damn good deal. I really like Mel Brooks. His comedy style is definitely up my alley. But, you know, the only one I've watched so far is History of the World Part 1, and it was completely ridiculous bullcrap, but it was hilarious, and that's what I liked about it. You know, it was completely stupid, and you know, that's the kind of comedy I like. So if you don't like Mel Brooks, you know, I can see why, because he makes some stupid ass movies, but they're still really funny for the fact that they are really stupid. So Young Frankenstein is definitely the best movie I've seen on this set so far. But like I said, the only one I've watched in this particular set is History of the World Part 1. I don't know why I keep coughing. I got a tickle in my throat. But, you know, for $23, like I said, damn good deal. All the movies are supposed to look really good. And it actually comes with a booklet inside here with a little bit of information on the movies themselves. So, like a paragraph each on each movie, which is kind of cool. That it gives you a little bit of information on each movie, maybe Mel's thoughts on them. But, you know, I don't know what I'm trying to say now. I'm kind of done with talking about this. Good movies. I personally like Mel Brooks. King of comedy, in my opinion. But that's going to do it for us this month. I was a little late on this. This video kind of ran a little bit too long, kind of mumbled on, or, you know, I don't even know the word. What is the word? Anyway, that's the overview. That's the update. Thanks for watching. See you later.